started to slow down a lot and really start to enjoy the work involved when it comes to sailing. I've made so many mistakes in the past because I was rushed. So I try to stay calm, focused, and composed. I've yet to cross an ocean, but the coastal sailing that I've done has given me several scares. Many embarrassing ones. I remember the time I was sailing in Long Beach with Michelle when the engine gave out. The swell was pushing us towards the rocks. I had so little experience that I didn't notice that there was no fuel line to the engine, so you have to manually add it after it runs out. How come I couldn't figure it out on my own was beyond me, but that's how little mechanical knowledge I had. It was after that scare that I decided to really level up my mechanical skills. Today I've done small and major jobs on my Jeep and Honda Accord. I started getting in the habit of detaching the mainsail from the topping lift after having hoisted the main. I'm still not an expert by any means, but I'm comfortable tackling a lot of car problems and conversating with people about cars, which is super different from my previous life when I would simply opt out of the conversation. There's nothing better than turning off the outboard engine and listening to the bow push through the water. One of the sailing channels was mentioning that being tidy with your lines isn't a optional, it's a requirement because it's a safety measure. You want to be able to grab the lines when necessary and not have to be untangling them when you're in a bind. Try to keep liquids down and not drink too much because down there it's a little porta potty and it's the most inconvenient thing to be using. One thing I've learned to appreciate is the rainy days and the sunny days, as well as the gloomy days. One thing that I found it hard to memorize, how to describe wind direction. For me, it made more intuitive sense to describe it by the direction that it was going. But in fact, the proper or traditional way of describing the wind is from the direction that it's originating. So if the wind is coming from the north heading south, that is a northerly wind. And if it's coming from the west, originating from the west, heading eastwards, that would be a westerly wind. What I'm going to do is actually depower the boat by pointing upwind and being at irons. And this maneuver is important if you need to brake or you need to hoist and unfurl the jib. One mistake that I made today was, well, who knows if there's a proper way to do it, but I think I should have hoisted the mainsail before unfurling the jib, because okay, this was not supposed to happen. So now I ended up, well, the swell pushed me the opposite direction, and at this point I'm just going to go ahead and make the turn. But that was good practice. The sun feels so good. I think it's 56 degrees, so it's not exactly warm out here. The most difficult part of solo sailing Well, there's many difficult parts, but what I find tough is keeping the boat steady because these tillers move around a lot and they really tend to mess with navigation. Seals or sea lions? I actually don't know the difference. There is a difference though. Okay, the wind came down a little, so it's gonna take a little longer to get to that buoy where they're hanging out. All right, I'm obviously going to try to get closer. Pacific Ocean is there, and this boat is not worthy of sailing the Pacific Ocean, so it's going to be time to do some tacking. This is going to be the slowest tack in the history of Mother Earth. Oh crap. Wow, that was horrible. Well, got the job done. Not the most elegant job, but I got the job done. I tend to ease the main sheet to slow down the boat, which is fine so long as I trim it afterwards. In the past, I thought heeling was quite fun. But some sailors would call that being overpowered. And now I consider it quite dodgy to be heeling over too much. So I try to keep sail the boat more conservatively. Leaving too much slack gives the boom more room to swing, so I try to keep it close. The birds flying in front of the bow of the boat, that's the good stuff. Being around water always takes the hunger out of me. So I'll just wrap around the corner here and grab a bite afterwards. I never bring anything good to eat when I come sailing. I always rush out of the house and pack whatever's convenient, like a banana. There's no need for forks when you're eating a banana. Wish I would have brought a yogurt. I like the winter more than the summer. In the summer, the beaches and the bays are crowded. During the winter, people tend to hibernate, leaving a beautiful world all up to me. All right, gonna go ahead and jive. Uploading videos to YouTube is really quite embarrassing. I can't tell you how many times I refer to a jive as a tack. But I'll share for whomever will listen. It's a jive when you're sailing downwind, but it's a tack when you're going upwind. Here I'm going downwind, so I'm jiving. It's when you're jiving that you really need to have control of the sails. There's an increase in force sailing downwind, and so a swinging boom from an accidental jive can be fatal. Power food. Let's go. I'll go ahead and jive. I could do it. Alright, let's let off the wind a little. Okay. Oh, it's chilly. All right, let's go ahead and...
I tend to grab both sheets and slowly ease one sheet while pulling on the other, which feels safer. The only concern I really have is accidentally jamming up or tangling up the sheet while easing it.
It's chilly.